Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Clowntown Podcast here on the Chief and Jehovah Variety Channel. I am Chief and Jehovah, also known as Jacob, and joining me today is my co-host Dino. We're going to be starting off this first episode today of what's hopefully going to be a weekly podcast, if we can, keep that ball rolling. But I did
That's
want
the
to.
goal.
That is indeed the goal. I do want to inform you guys that after this episode goes live, I did record a episode 0 quite a while back. It was probably back towards the beginning of this year, but knowing I wouldn't be able to keep that track record of keeping the show going, I didn't air it in hopes of, not dropping off of the podcast. So if you are a member of the channel, you'll get access to episode 0 of the Clowntown podcast here on the Chief and Jehovah Variety channel. So if you want to hit that button down below and support us, it'd be fantastic. And, obviously I never asked for money, but, I just figured, nice little gesture to do for people who do want to support the channel. It's 99 cents. So, But anyway, we are going to start this show today off strong with the Game Awards.
Oh my goodness, yes. I'm like I said, I'm so happy we finally get to talk about this
Yeah.
because like I said, I didn't get a chance to look at the entire list of
There's a
who
lot.
won everything, right?
There's a big list.
I knew that Elden Ring won Game of the Year. That was pretty
Absolutely.
much no question for anybody because I can't.
Yeah.
You said you finished that one.
God of War Ragnarok did hold a big contender for it, but being so limited to just a Sony platform where so many more people were able to, touch Elden Ring, I think Elden Ring without a doubt had that in the bag.
I don't know. I mean, didn't The Last of Us or no? Yeah, The Last of Us, didn't that win Game of the Year?
I'd
That was a
I'd have to
pretty sure that
recheck.
here, yeah.
Yeah, we can
You
just fact
check
check it real quick. Yeah, we'll check the Game
Yeah,
Awards real quick. But keep talking about a few other things while I
but
look for
I'm
this
pretty
up.
sure that they or one. I know that they won an award of some sort, but they were still pretty limited to just Sony platforms, and they still were not able to knock it out of the park. I think
It
the
did
real
not
difference.
win 2021.
Really?
It Takes Two won Game of the Year, which I gotta admit was a really good game. I didn't play
That
it myself,
was
but I did see
I
it
did.
quite a
Oh,
bit.
okay.
How was it?
I played it with a really good friend of mine, and it's literally just like
Oh,
a
sorry,
way
that
out
was
in terms.
I was wrong. Last of Us Part Two
Oh,
came out in 2020 and won Game of the Year, Naughty Dog.
that's
But
I knew it.
it had a lot.
Okay.
It had a pretty big hype up. But I gotta admit that game. I had my issues with the game originally when it came to story. When it came to just story. Not the story in general, but what is it? The story
The flow.
progression. Yeah, the flow. The flow
Yeah,
just felt
flow.
really strange to me. But the game design and gameplay was just magnificent. That like you could not get more lifelike in that in that time frame than The Last of Us 2 did. That game was really magical.
Oh my
That in
god.
and of
And,
itself.
and same thing with Ragnarok. The graphics and the mocap of the characters are so detailed and intimate that like it almost part of the reason I feel like Ragnarok didn't really win Game of the Year is only because it kind of bordered onto movie game territory, right?
Yeah,
But but it owns it. Like they are the movie game, like market right now because they have it. They have the formula at least in terms of keeping you engaged and whatnot. I will say though that
absolutely.
the writing felt weird. That was the only gripe I had with the game in story, and that's such a small thing. That's probably the best thing going for it is that all I can do is nitpick because the story is so engaging,
It really is,
which is
and it
why.
keeps you in there with the gameplay as well. Like it keeps that steady flow going. I feel like it wasn't, how a lot of games do like cutscenes, and it makes the flow feel choppy. But the God of War just kept it spot on. And I gotta say the same thing with Last of Us 2. Realistically, it was a little more choppy when it came up with the story and everything going back and forth, but the gameplay really flowed into the cutscenes. But God of War just did it like it really did it almost seamlessly most of the time. It
When I
was
say
very
movie
well done.
game, I don't mean in a negative annotation. I mean in terms of like you want to see what happens next. You're on the edge of your seat and you're okay with like, taking the journey to get to these cutscenes and whatnot. Because it does, there are some areas where it does feel like you go from one place to another and then it's just a cutscene. But a lot of the times there's, like I said, the
It's such a
acting and
seamless
the way
flow.
that these, hmm I just, mocap has come such a long
Christopher
way. I was just
Judge
doing some
still killing
research.
it as Kratos though. He's really really getting it on.
Like I said, mocap is just such a brilliant fucking piece of technology.
It's
I
come a
actually
long
looked it
way.
up. The first use of mocap was in a movie called Lawnmower Man, I think. Hold on, let me make sure. I've got this right.
The first use of mocap technology.
It was a movie. Uh, let's see, back in 1992.
Was that really the first
So,
use of mocap?
yep, I looked this up earlier.
It's been 30 years.
Yep.
Wow. You see how
Um,
close it's come.
it's been remarkable because then you look at movies like Avatar, where if you looked at any of like behind the scenes stuff, it took like 8 years in production, straight up only because they were waiting for the technology to become better for the mocap to truly like
Take
immerse you
off.
in the 3D world without it feeling tacky
Yeah,
and
without
whatnot.
without it looking like bad CGI, which is something I appreciated about that Avatar movie when it came out. That did it win like movie of the year 2 years in a row or something? Just because
Hmm.
no good movies came out besides it, but it really blew. It really did blow away at that time period, which wasn't that long ago. Only about 12 years ago, right? Came out 2009,
Yep,
2010.
something like that. Dude, I swear, every fucking cable channel had that fucking movie playing. I
Oh,
swear to
dude, I
God, I
saw
could
it.
not escape it.
I saw it maybe the second day it came out in IMAX 3D when that gimmick was
Oh,
around. But
yep.
I swear, like IMAX 3D is a gimmick for any other movie except Avatar. Avatar
That's
was
what I
the
was
only one
saying.
I could justify seeing in IMAX 3D because it really made it feel like that's how you were supposed to view it. Was on a massive screen with massive surround and really just things popping out at you. It was intense or
A lot of
insane.
movie enthusiasts laugh at people who are like, "Oh yeah, I watched that movie. Where'd you watch it on?" I watched it on my phone. It streamed it on Netflix or whatever. And they fucking just scoff at that thought just because you. The movie theater experience, a lot of movies are geared towards having, the big boom of surround sound and the
Absolutely.
ambiance of a dark room and a giant TV. And sometimes you just miss that magic when you look at your fucking iPhone.
And I'm not gonna
And
lie, I feel like games are really kind of gearing towards that as well. Like it's more personalized in headphones now and everything, but I really feel like games like God of War Ragnarok uh could really be enhanced if you have this massive screen playing on it and having this massive surround sound and just being like in the dark, engaged and just absorbing all of it. You know what I mean?
absolutely. I mean, hell, I listen to the music right now because I get to listen to it in the car, and the thumps of that orchestra.
You
You
and your
you
brother
have
were
to
on
have
that
some
with
kind of.
Elden Ring as well, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's the only way I convinced him to play that game in the first place was showing him the music.
with the music
He was
direction.
not a Dark Souls or like a Souls-like gamer. He's the first one to start yelling and screaming at a motherfucker because of mechanics he doesn't understand. He's very impatient,
Yeah,
but he finally came around to it. He's out here fucking. He's on like play through 2.5 now, and
nice.
he loves the game
It's a
now.
great
And
game.
now
I'm
he's
really glad I'm going to be getting back into it soon.
yes, and I love that more of our friends are getting into it too. I love that Peyton gets so excited whenever I start talking about it, and then he's like updating me on
On his
what he's been.
progress. Yeah.
It's great. It makes me feel great
I don't know
because
if you
that's
saw
kind of
the
how it was with
image.
Isaiah
I
too.
don't know if you saw the
Oh
image
no, I
I
didn't.
had up yesterday, but I had it when I was doing my live streams of playing it when I was doing my depraved run. But I had it after I beat the I think it's the Dragonkin or the Dragonkin soldier with like just my
Yeah,
club, no armor, and just my whole body and my horse was just covered in blood. It was just such a cool image at the end.
Christ.
It was really insane. And it's just moments like that in Elden Ring. You get like these really cinematic images that a lot of games you just can't get anymore. Either they're too fast paced, or there's just no time to slow down, or it's really just not worth it anymore to be looking at the
Well,
scenery.
some games do too. Is they'll do like cutscenes that are like separate graphics from the actual game itself. I think a lot of games could take up a page from Elden Ring when it comes to like in-game happenings instead of like being pulled away into a camera and then a cutscene happens.
Yeah,
Like even just like old stuff like in Halo 3 where you'd come across like a brute choking out at a marine instead like if that were made now, the camera would have panned out and it would have fucking zoomed in on those two and had that interaction before. But, back then, like it was happening in game. Like if you wanted to, you had enough time to shoot the brute and save that
see,
marine instead of letting the whole scene play through. I think.
I miss shit like that where you if you act fast enough or you do something just right, you can change the outcome of a moment in a game. And I feel like too many games have choreographed death scenes now.
Yep.
And there's not. And I mean, I get it. There's a story that the developers want to tell and the writers want to tell and everything. But at the same time, I like alternate. I like, oh, if I do something different, it can really change. And it really makes you feel like your choices and your actions cause, a different outcome in the game. Even if it's not a big one, it's a small one.
And that's the point.
Because if you
Like,
save that
dude,
marine, he's probably going to get blown up by a grunt, wielding two grenades a little
exactly.
later. But at least he made
You
it
don't
to
even
that
know his
point.
name.
Yeah.
You don't even know who this motherfucker is. And he's like he never comes up again. But that's the magic of it. Like you could have never cared if you wanted to, or you could have gone through the hassle to maybe save his life.
Yeah. Could have made it a little
Just
different.
small stuff like that. And I can't imagine that's crazy hard to do either, because I imagine cutscenes are probably harder to like actually like move around a camera with and whatnot. But I just we need more. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure that there's like an in-school
Oh, for
video
sure.
game developers phrase of it, but like dynamic cutscenes, not like something that takes away the control, but just something that still happens while you're playing the game.
I
I
kind
feel
of
like that has definitely
I
been
kind of miss
lost.
QuickTime events, but at the same time I
I
don't
was
because they kind of slow down and ruin it to a degree. But I don't want to
I
be
was
like
just
I don't want to like be playing a game and have no QuickTime events, and then I get up and like, okay, I'll just let this cutscene play out, and it'll start me back up, and I go walk and like take a piss or something, and I come back and it said I'm just replaying the cutscene over and over because I keep dropping the QuickTime event.
I was just thinking about that earlier because I was seeing some old cutscenes and like boss fights from God of War, Ascension. For some reason back then nobody ever talked about that game, and then I watched it and I understood why, sort
That
of,
was the
because the
PSP game,
QuickTime
wasn't it?
event. No, it's actually no, it was a full-on PS
PS2 game.
PlayStation game. No, 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 no. It was one of the last God of Wars before the new 2018 one.
I remember it. I
Um,
definitely played Ascension, but I don't remember what I played it on. There was one on PSP I played when I didn't have a PSP, but I stole somebody's PSP that
I
had God
think
of
it
War.
was Ghost of Sparta. Might have been on that one, or
That
Chains
might
of Sparta.
Chains of Sparta. Yeah,
Because I had the same fucking thing.
yeah. But somebody new had Ascension as well.
But yeah, no, that one is a little too riddled with QuickTime events, or is that what they're called? QuickTime
Yeah,
events? I
QuickTime
feel like
events.
that's fallen off a lot
Another
lately.
game that was filled with those, but it kind of made sense.
Mortal Kombat.
Well, yeah, but but it was this old game called Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain
I've
was
heard of
a
that.
really good fucking game. It's made by the same people who made what's that game called?
Oh wait, Life is Strange, right?
No, no, no. Maybe they had something to do with. No, I don't think so. What the fuck is the game called? I'm trying. One with the robots in Detroit Become Human.
Ah, okay, yeah. So they're the
Yeah,
really once again borderline movie
yeah.
develop or
Borderline.
movie
Yeah, like
games.
you really just kind of want to sit back and watch it and watch the story play out, but you're in total control of the story. And I like games like that as well. Like I was just saying, like your choice really matters in these games. So like whoever you kill, like if you don't grab these bag of chips, this kid has an allergy to the other bag of chips. So
Fucking
like you give the kid a snack and the kid's like, do these have peanuts in them? And it just swell up and dies right in front of you, explodes into a million chunks. And you're like,
oh
oh
my
no, now the kid's
God.
dead. Or you could have given them, the different ones and they live through or whatever.
That
Shit
man
like
had
that.
explosive diarrhea. Oh no.
The kid had
Why?
explosive swelling. But yeah, no, like things like that that I kind of miss in games where choice I feel like matters and there's so many different outcomes. I understand that puts a lot more stress on already strained developers who are doing these
Oh yeah.
impossible, like really impossible, um, what is it, deadlines that they make, and that's why
Actually,
we have so many broken games now.
that kind of really leads me to a topic that I wrote down as well. Current game development in terms of like how we've kind of moved into a live service kind of era where a lot of games can ship out all bugged and stuff because we have the promise of it, getting constant updates. And then B, people can play for free because there's usually a season pass.
Yeah,
Literally, let's see. Out of
I'm
the
not gonna
small
lie.
bar of games that I have right now that I play recently, let's see, this is 5 games right now.
Mhm.
Destiny, Elden Ring, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Apex and Monster Hunter. Let's see, that is 4 out of the 6 games I just fucking read off that has a fucking season pass.
I think the season pass system's killing gaming, in my opinion.
Abs-
I think it's sucking all the fun that gaming was and giving developers a cop out when it comes to actually just making shit for the game. Like, okay,
It's so painful.
I can dump all this junk in front of these people. They pay $10 for it. But my defense is, oh, the game's free. Only to have any kind of identity in the game, you're gonna have to spend money and
One
just look like
thing
a
that
regular Nancy.
your listeners slash viewers, if they've even, watched me around, because I popped in and out of videos every so often,
Yeah,
other than
if you
the
guys
way
don't
out.
remember, if you're a real like Jehovah phobe that's been here since the beginning, Dino is the first person I did a co-op game with on the channel and did a full completion of A Way Out. So if you haven't watched that series, I after this podcast episode, I would recommend go watching that playlist that is on the channel. Really good time. That was back when I would stream our recordings on Twitch and then download them off Twitch and then upload them and everything.
I think about that sometimes, about some of the ways we used to do, well, not even just you and me, but like the way I used to operate in terms of like making videos and how overcomplicated I used to make it. Oh
Yeah.
man.
I mean, you had to do what you had to do and what made sense to you at the time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because nobody teaches you that shit.
No,
But
no, no. You kind of figure
um
it out as you go. But yeah, what were we talking
but
about?
the loop around with that was that even back then, I think, oh, 100%. I've been playing Destiny since fucking it came out, dude.
Dude,
I've been
I remember
and
the 8-day beta that we had, and you can only get to level 8 and everything. Like
I
Erica, me and
was
Eric, I was really surprised that my wife got into that as much as she did back then, and we just hung on to it for so long.
I've held on to it the longest.
You really
And
did.
I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love it, it started to dwindle, but that's only because the season pass crap. That's
This,
now, ah,
and I'm
because they
not.
didn't used to
I
have that
don't
either.
want to blame Fortnite because I feel like Fortnite did it. I'm going to come to the defense of Fortnite here, which I know a lot of people are kind of back and forth on. I think Fortnite's a good game.
Boo!
I think Fortnite's a good game, and it's creative, and that they've done really well with it.
Bandwagoner.
They've done really well with it. But their methods were so effective for Fortnite that everybody
Oh
else
man.
thought that they could copy it and have the same effect. Halo Infinite is
That's usually
dead.
how it
Halo
goes.
Infinite is
Oh.
dead. It's
Yeah,
dead to
I
me.
completely forgot.
It's drowning in the fucking depths of my tears of
Does
how
it even have
they have a player base. They did come out with this recent season. Forge for Halo Infinite is god tier from what I heard. But
Oh wow,
the
really?
game has been out for over a year. That is unacceptable in my opinion. The game came out free.
No,
The campaign's
absolutely.
$60. But when you have a platform as notable as Halo and a icon, my look at our fucking profile pictures. This game shaped our futures. I've been playing this shit since I was a toddler. Not
Pretty
saying you should
much.
have your toddlers like playing Halo, but I mean, I did.
We all have our things we
We all
weren't
have our
supposed to be
thing.
doing as
Yeah,
kids.
absolutely. But
Don't lie to me.
when you have something so precious to so many people, I understand there's developer strain. I understand our world went through a crisis and things were more difficult. But god damn it, Microsoft 343, all of you other bastards who took our child and massacred it into this free to play, no level up system, season pass grind, fucking bullshit esports league garbage that you tore into, and then decide to put Forge mode in as a fucking band aid. All you gotta do is, even if you guys don't want to work on Halo, I'm convinced that they're making this shit as bad as possible in order to drive Halo to the ground to where nobody wants another game and they don't have to work on it anymore. Hand it back to the fucking community. My only congratulations to any of that is that they allowed the Steam Workshop for Halo Master Chief Collection in order to, to give what I just said, give it to the community. That's what they're giving to, Master Chief Collection, the greatest thing that's ever been produced. It had a really rough hit when it first came out, and a lot of that I blame on the company for just not waiting longer, but it was a launch title along with the Xbox One that was already delayed as is. So I get it. It's a business plan, it's a business strategy, but over the years they've really developed it into what it could be, and I'm praying to God that they do that with Halo Infinite. But I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold extra doubt.
I just don't see it happening unless Halo Infinite is supposed to be the final title in Halo's lore, but I don't see that happening either.
Now, do you know what happened in terms of leadership when it comes to like, in terms of just drama?
I'm not.
at all.
I knew it, but I've forgotten it over the time. Just
So
because
pretty much, the biggest thing was that co-op isn't in that motherfucker for the campaign,
it is now.
and they had it is
It
now.
is now. Yeah.
Okay, well, at the time, they had fucking published that they were gonna put in co-op, and then when Halo Infinite came out, obviously it didn't come with it, and they had promised that they were gonna come with it at some point, and I can't remember if it was data miners or something like that, but they had dug up something where they found that the next couple of seasons weren't gonna have it. And it got to a point where the lead, I forget her name, but the lead of 343, like the company, had actually stepped down due to not being able to make up the standard of these promises that they've been making with co-op and Forge and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She literally fucking stepped down, dude.
Really?
That's fucking. You can look it up, but
I'm looking it up
I don't know
now.
who's leading it now, but um. It's just crazy that it got to a point where they couldn't fucking keep the boat afloat. I don't know. It's funny how a lot of these games literally end up being fine like another 6 months later. Like all they had to do was wait
Was
another
wait.
6 months. And
Yeah,
it's never that long
that was a
either.
big
And
thing. I remember when
it's so funny.
I was really hyped for Infinite because the thing I hate is when game developers lie and say that they're listening to the community, and then the community is beyond pissed off because they didn't listen at all.
Oh
And
my
all they
god.
listen. The worst thing a company can do is listen to pro players. I hate pro players. I hate pro players with a passion.
Yeah.
I hate esports leagues. I hate all of it. Esports has ruined gaming as well, along with
There
season pass.
is
I will say I
there is a
enjoy
stigma
watching
of
them
like
sometimes.
sweatiness where people feel like they have to compare themselves to
There's
competitive
just
players.
points in the game that don't need to, gaming is for casual players. Gaming is for the average Joe. Gamers, like we have lives that we have to live and we want to come home and play, but then I get, bombarded by a team of guys who are trying to purposely lose so that they can, get their elo down in casual play so that they can go play ranked and stomp on early game players.
They
Shit like
even do
that.
that shit in Destiny too, man.
They can do
It's
that in
funny.
Destiny. They
People
can do that in Overwatch. They can do that in Halo. They can do that in COD. They can, it's an indefinite amount of these games that are broken due to, and I don't even want to say skill based matchmaking because to a degree, skill based matchmaking makes sense. When you're good, you should be playing with people on equal skill. I get that. But at the same time, people at equal skill, it's hard to judge when you have a full team of your friends who are all varying in skill ratings as well. Somebody's going to be a weaker link. Ugh.
You know what's funny is that once again, it's funny how all these topics that we've come up with so far are current things that the Destiny 2 community once again complain about. Because yeah, skill-based matchmaking I think has always existed, honestly. Like even if it's just been a soft form.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, but I think it's just because we're more aware of it now. We kind of complain about it more, but we're also in a world where people literally fucking go online and look up statistically or mathematically the best things to use to win a game.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a lot harder to, do random stuff or practice characters or loadouts you haven't done
It really
before.
makes a lot of the other items in game and weapons and etc. useless to a degree. If you find the best min max there is, what's the point of an experiment? What's the point of personalizing yourself?
When it comes to multiplayer games, that's what makes it hard to kind of branch out because you'll have people who are I mean, granted, it only really happens when there are either really end game slash like high stakes activities like competitive matches in Overwatch
Yeah.
or Apex and stuff like that. Where, I understand why the need to win is a lot stronger there, but it gets to a point where they will like use anything that they genuinely enjoy using or doing, and it's more about using the best thing and nothing else matters. So the game becomes a lot more stale because you use the one or two things that actually like stand a chance.
Right. I
So
can't
God forbid
just
you do anything else
yeah,
in
God forbid I try
competitive.
to God forbid I try to see if I can win an Apex match with just a Mozambique.
And then you get a guy within 0.3 seconds of you doing such a decision going, "What are you doing?" Yeah.
He's throwing. I'm reporting you for throwing the match.
Oh my
Oh god.
God. Sometimes it's kind of
You never played
necessary.
League of Legends with us, did you?
No.
Thank
I've
God. You've been
seen
spared.
I
Never play
I
League.
feel like I got a small taste of it getting into Smite a little bit.
A little
I
bit.
tried for one season. I tried to do ranked in Smite. And this was my earliest memories of being flamed online because it was this I was a jungler, which now that I've learned that junglers are just more prone to being yelled at just because, you have to be everywhere and whatnot. So you just have a lot more to fuck up on. So
Absolutely.
it was kind of doomed from the start. But I had this guy who was asking me to switch at first, but I told him that this is kind of the only role I've been practicing, in a competitive manner. And then right then and there, he starts cussing me out. I'm not even going to try to repeat the things he said because there were racial slurs in there. And this man unleashed. And we hadn't even started the game yet. We haven't even chosen
He
characters.
wanted to be
I was
jungler.
and my man had just lost his mind. What do you mean you only play one role? What are you even in ranked for? And it's the whole match. I think that match lasted an hour and 20 minutes.
That's when you
We
learn
won
people who
that.
are competitive just can't let other people have fun.
I've never had such a big headache winning in my life.
That's what it's sad to me that a lot of gaming has kind of deteriorated into this I can't have fun anymore state because of the threat of other people throwing games because they don't like how I'm playing.
Which sucks because like another reason why Elden Ring won Game of the Year is because yeah, it gives you that stakes that, you still want to like try, but it's not demeaning when you fuck it up. I don't know, like, or there's no one there to like be there the
Unless
moment
you
you make a
stream it.
mistake.
Unless
Um,
dude, I got when I was starting my depraved run in Elden Ring, and I got to Margit the Fell Omen. And,
oh no.
like I'm just have no armor in a club, and I had only beaten him once on my main character at this point, so I'm trying to beat him again. And like I start the stream, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna go for our first attempt at the stream, and then somebody flames me in the comments. It was like, first attempt, the fog wall still up. How's this your first? I'm like, it's my first attempt of the stream, my guy.
My God,
Like, dude, it's
what?
not that serious. I don't understand. Like, yeah, I know I'm not playing well, dude. It's been a few days. I work for a living.
No,
So
but
when I
that sounded
come
like he
back,
was
I gotta
more
warm up.
genuinely concerned that you got the wording wrong of if you had seen the boss for the first time or
My
not.
brother in
Like, what the
Christ.
fuck?
It's not that serious.
Plus, the game had already come out for how long when you first started
At
streaming it?
that point, it had only been out for maybe a week.
Oh, okay.
It had
Oh,
only been out
so
for
that was
maybe a
that
week.
was still brand spanking new.
Yeah, it was still new.
Wait a minute, that makes that worse. What the?
And
Wait,
like I
that's
don't get
it's a
it.
week.
I don't know. It was
That
so
guy
strange
probably
to me.
hadn't even beaten Elden Ring yet, and he's over here fucking.
Probably not. He's probably just been watching a bunch
No.
of streamers flaming them. It's probably the only joy he
Oh
gets in
man,
life. But
I think I. Oh, bro.
I'm not good at Elden Ring. I never
Oh, I'm
stated
not
I'm
either.
good at it. I'm not the best fucking guy at Elden Ring. I'm not like one-shotting bosses. Oh yeah, first time is easy. I'm not flaming other people. It's like it took you this long to beat. I'm not that guy, dude. Simple bosses destroy me. Complex bosses I can beat no problem. A lot of the times.
Yeah, that's funny. That was
That's
my
me.
brother. He was the same way, where it's like you beating the game. So and I mean,
Oh,
we're
you
at this
did.
point. It's
You
been
actually
out long
got.
enough.
Yeah, you got to Elden Ring a little bit later, didn't you? So you didn't get to
Oh
fight.
yeah.
You didn't get to fight Radon pre-nerf.
Nope. And it makes me sad because then I heard that he was stronger, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
He should have been stronger because,
He was a
uh,
beast, dude.
to this
I
day,
actually beat him
he's one of.
in three. I think on 3 or 4 tries I beat him, but that was just
Oh
because
wow.
I had grinded out previously, so I was over leveled for him.
Oh okay. I mean, but even then, over level's a strong word at
Yeah.
this point. I feel like
When it
you
comes to
killed
Elden
enough to
Ring, I
get
guess,
there.
yeah,
Yeah. No. Fuck that.
it was a little different. But I did want to bring up something else about the Game Awards though, while we're still talking
Oh
about
yeah. Yeah.
gaming.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
did you see that Arcane got best video game adaptation into
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go,
Yeah, dude.
dude. I'm so
That
happy
show is
about
so
that.
good.
I'm so glad that I never played League of Legends, so then I have no idea of these contexts of these characters, because then I get to like learn it through the show, and it feels so much more dramatic, bro. I remember watching the first like 2 episodes by myself before I watched it with you guys, and bro, that shit had me in like tears.
Dude,
That
it's
shit.
so good. It was such a good show. I loved it to
I'm
death.
one thing your viewers are going to learn about me. I'm a big animation buff. Like I'm not a big anime person. However, if and I'm about to start Demon Slayer, so I need to catch up with that as well. I'm always late to these trains, so bear with me. But if the animation quality is good enough and like I've seen some stuff about it, I'm gonna indulge in it. Like Chainsaw Man and
Dude,
Demon
I
Slayer are things I
cannot
want to
get
get into
enough
at
of
some point.
Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man has been. Well, we'll talk about Chainsaw Man more when you actually get to sit down and watch it
When
thoroughly.
it
And
comes
I,
to
I want to talk
Arcane,
about
it can't.
I want to talk about it
Oh,
more
sorry.
when I want to talk about Chainsaw Man more when the full season is out and everything and everybody's had a chance to watch it and stuff. But right now, Chainsaw Man has been fucking sweet, dude. It's probably gonna be one of my favorite animes. Erica loves it too. I didn't believe Suede at first when he said that that was gonna be his favorite show because it was his favorite manga. I'm like, you read? And then
You're right.
I
Wow.
was like, you read? But yeah, he read Chainsaw Man. I'm like, okay, it's got to be good. So we watched it, and like after that first episode hooked me in so hard. It's just a good show. But yeah,
I haven't seen much of it other than a few animation clips about it. And like I said, those are the small things that really draw me into shows. And kind of whipping back into Arcane, it had that same art style. Well, not the same art style, but it had this
animation
um,
style.
almost comic book like The Walking Dead Telltale games kind of like feel,
Yeah.
but in a truly in movie form though. Like it was animation like any other. I
What's
can't really
that?
think of any
What's that
other
called? What's
medium.
that border
Cell
stuff?
shading.
Cell shading. Yeah. Did you watch the new Dragon Ball Super movie? Eric and I went and saw it in
Uh,
theaters.
no,
Yeah.
I
So
have not yet.
it's cell shaded.
Oh, so okay, so it's pretty much like the same um kind of technical style in terms of like how they animated
I
it.
don't
Like
want
it's
somebody to
digital, but
flame me for
it's
this. So let
2D.
me double check my facts
Oh
real
yeah, no,
quick.
I I
Dragon Ball
I
Super 2022.
I fill in the gaps
Oh.
where I can. I am prone to being wrong. I'll just throw that out there right now. I do more research where I can, but
Well, I know that they're cell shaded in Fortnite apparently. 2022 animation style. Hold. To the fan base's shock, however, the next movie saw another massive visual overhaul. In July 2022, Superheroes was announced to be the first Dragon Ball film to sport a 3D CG visual style.
I mean, but it still had the cell shaded kind of aspects to it, if
Yeah,
that
it
makes sense.
definitely
Like the
did.
hard
Yeah,
borders
yeah, the
and
hard
the
borders.
saturation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I liked it. Like it was different. I liked that it was different.
What excites me about it, because like I said, I haven't watched the show, but like I said, I've seen a few things about it. But with that kind of animation style, it's a lot easier to do than 2D animation. So that opens up a lot more wiggle room for the animators to do more interesting stuff and more, even just like the talking. It doesn't feel like just mouth flaps anymore
No,
with that
it's
kind
more
of animation
fluid.
style. Hmm.
It's a lot more fluid.
I think that can go a long way, but I could see it going wrong in just if it just barely doesn't have the right amount of budget. Like that one, what's it called? Berserk. I think it got a
Yes.
CGI adaptation,
Yeah,
and I've
when
heard so much terrible.
they redid the show into three movies into like the CGI like cell shaded adaptation to it. And people hated it. I personally didn't mind it so much, but that's also because I hadn't watched Berserk since like probably 2008 at that point. I love Berserk, the OG Berserk. But yeah, they redid it in that, and it looked a little funny to me. But Erica really enjoyed it, and that's how I was able to show her Berserk. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. But it really
I guess
cut
when
it.
that's your entry point, then I mean, you don't have any way to really like dislike it, to be
Yeah, to
honest.
base it off of anything. And then Berserk 2016, when they finally introduced the Black Knight arc, or I think that's what it was called. It's been a while. Uh, it was a little strange that they kept that animation style and didn't just revert back to a classic 2D style. But I kind of got it because it was cheaper to produce. But I still think it was good. I still think they did pretty well with it.
But Arcane is like the most advanced, like the most money could buy version of that, though.
Yeah.
And between the voice acting, the colors, that you wouldn't think that that would be such a big selling point of any kind of show, because it's, I mean, fucking who cares? It's just the background or outfits or whatever. But the way that the colors just pop of off of weapons and people and the environment and whatnot. It is just such a visual like treat to the eye almost every single frame of that fucking show. Like you could pretty much wallpaper any frame of that damn show and it'll look fantastic. It
Oh
is
yeah.
just, there nothing compares to it when it comes to its confidence in its art style. It's not that it's realistic. It is just outright
It's
gorgeous.
really true to the lore as well, and I appreciate it a lot that they really adapt it because it's so hard a lot of times with God damn it, I'm gonna go back to Halo with this shit.
Hey, we all
When
have our bases. I kept mentioning this one too.
adapting a show to animation, and especially to a storyline to be presented onto like a TV style platform, I will say Halo Legends was
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
Halo Legends was fantastic. I think that was a great adaptation because they got several different studios, I believe, to work on different stories for Halo Legends. And I loved all
Yeah,
of
they
them.
were all short
They were
stories.
all
Oh,
great. They were all fantastic.
you
So
already know which
why
ones are my
the
favorite.
fuck, when you have a massive budget, shit all over my fucking face when it comes to what the fuck am I watching? You know,
The live action.
I get, yes. How do you drop the ball? How do you drop the ball so hard? Just follow the fucking story. Like, dude, I would have
Didn't they take off
appreciated,
his helmet in like the first 3 episodes or some
dude,
crap?
he 80, 90, I'd say about probably about 85% of the show, he's not wearing the fucking helmet.
Oh,
I think the actor did fine. I think he was a fine actor for Chief. He had a good voice. He had a good physique. I liked his attitude towards it. I think the actors were fine. I think the people who were directing and storytelling did a horrible job because they
a
really
lot of the
focused on
stuff.
this. Honestly, I'm gonna go on a rant about this shit. This shit pisses me off.
Let it out. You need it.
These fuck. I hate it. I hate it. It could have been so good. The elites looked really good. Yeah, they were CGI. Who gives a fuck? You know,
Who
like they
cares? They're
look good. You
aliens.
can't get a real fucking alien out here to play this shit. I thought they looked
And
good. And they obliterated these fuckers in the very beginning because that's how it fucking works. Just people were complaining that these guys were using AKs and shit like that and not using like UNSC weapons. Dude, the Kalashnikov is an iconic weapon that'll be used by rebels until the end of time at this point. Like, they're going to make futuristic versions of it. It's a basic design, simple concept. People can manufacture it. They're rebels. It's just going to happen.
And
They're
plus,
not going
they
to have a.
answered their own question. They don't have UNSC weapons
Yeah, they
because
don't.
rebels aren't
UNSC.
UNSC.
They're not UNSC. Yeah, they got to scavenge around. There was one scene in a trailer that had like a 2001 Suburban. 2001 like Chevy, like a Suburban or something.
Oh, like a vehicle.
Yeah, like an actual
Oh my
vehicle.
God.
Like it wasn't in the show, but it was just in a side clip, and people were like, "Why the fuck in 2025 is or 2552 or some shit like that? Is there's just a 2001 fucking Suburban just chilling there?"
Hey man, that's in their time. That's basically an El Camino in comparison. Like that's
Bro,
the
that bitch
equivalent.
shouldn't work. That bitch should be rusted into oblivion at that
No,
point.
some futuristic motherfucker took their sweet time taking care of
You
it.
know
They had
that somebody
they
be like,
had,
"Hey, look at this classic from the early 2000s." Whoa, from the 2000s. In
yeah. Look at my
25,
Ford Focus, baby.
I make classic cars from the early 2000s. That's my job in 2552. But yeah, so like I don't know, that shit was just annoying to me. I hated the Paramount. What was it? Paramount Plus that did
I
it?
think so.
I think. I got
It
to.
was
Yeah, it was Paramount. I
yeah.
remember Paramount. Fuck you, Paramount. You fucking pile of shit. Shitting out. And they
Well,
made him fuck. They made him fuck the Arbiter. Like. And it wasn't actually
oh
Arbiter. It's this
no.
fucking human chick that's in the Arbiter spot for some fucking reason. I don't know. I was giving it a
It's
chance for the first little bit, but then they started focusing too much on the female human rebel girl. I felt like they kind of should have just dropped her after a few episodes and after she was like okay and stuff. Like I like the actor and everything, but just for story wise, it didn't make much sense. I think she did fine
It
in her
almost makes you
role.
wonder if they should have just made the whole show in reverse in terms of like started off with a rebel bitch and then maybe do Master Chief. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like in
like
terms of
I
perspective.
I feel like they shouldn't have even added Chief in. I feel like if they just were trying to make a Halo like universe story, they should have just focused on all of these other characters except for Chief. that were
That's
just
what made
having sitting in
Legends
the
so
background.
good. Because they were characters we never met before, so we got to A, invest in them, and B, actually have the genuine sense of, oh fuck, are they gonna actually live? Because a
Yeah,
lot of them fucking didn't.
yeah, right. Because
Because
war's
they
hell.
kind of well, not even just that, like they kind of lost the sense, or at least the newer games kind of lost the the big overarching theme that the Covenant was actually fucking scary at one point. Like
Yeah, dude.
we were on the brink of failure. We were all going to die.
Yeah.
Like, I think my favorite one when it comes to like the threat of the aliens or the Covenant was the one where the code name Ghost, where he gets in the mech or whatever. I can't
Oh
remember
yeah,
which.
yeah. I know what you're
Dude,
talking about.
I know they didn't even like let the Covenant speak or do anything, but that's kind of
The
they
presence of it.
they felt so alien because they weren't really speaking in our language, which I think they were trying to do sort of in Halo Reach, but then they stopped doing that. But like they made them a genuine threat to where he had to sacrifice himself to even fucking have people escape. They didn't even win that fight. Like
No.
a lot of those stories were either stalemates or outright losses.
Well, there's a lot of
And
those, like especially in like Reach too, like through the games, where you're just trying to get civilians to safety, so you're just holding back an inevitable like conquest, and you're just trying to make it to where the casualties are as small as possible, and you're holding back this fight, and then you just see this fucking ship full of civilians get obliterated after all your hard work, and you're like, it's just inevitable. You can't win this fight, and you don't feel any of that shit in the goddamn show.
oh
And it
man,
pisses me off.
it's okay. Yeah,
Don't
the
focus
more
on
I can
Master Chief. Just focus. There's so many cool Spartans in the Halo lore that they could have focused on. I don't mind if they did a Rebel story or focus, or because we never really get to see too much into the Rebels' perspective that often. It's like,
the
yeah,
reason we don't, yeah.
because the UNSC, it's kind of similar to our world today. A lot of people don't want like this unity or anything like that. They kind of want to be left to their own vices, but then you get kind of berated, especially in war times, for resources and everything. So you got to move planet to planet, and then if you try to speak up, you get beat down. So you got to fight back. This, that, and the third thing. And we don't really get to see that. We just could be like, why the fuck are you guys rebelling? There's literal fucking aliens coming to destroy us that you just don't believe is because you think it's propaganda until they come down and kill everyone you love. Like, is that what it's gonna take for you to just
Oh,
join
man.
us and be, like, it's some wacky
It just
shit.
makes me think of Reach. Oh my God. That's literally if I were only allowed to like make a person play one video game ever, and that was their only way to like get a perspective on how good games can be, Halo Reach is going to be the one I make them play every
Oh,
single fucking time.
absolutely. That is the one.
A little bit of biasness, sure, but I'll be honest. It's because Master Chief is not in it that I love it so much. It's a Saving Private Ryan version of fucking Halo, and I love it.
It's really
Is
good because
it's
Chief isn't it. Well, Chief is in it technically. If
technically, but
technically, but you only see him for a second getting transported on the pillar bottom if you move your
I like
camera to
that
the
you
left.
only. I think you can only see. Well, you can only see it too. I think in the legendary version too. So
Yeah, when you beat it on
if you,
legendary and you hold your stick to the left and you'll pan your vision over to Chief just laying in the cryopod.
especially on legendary, man, getting to that point really does feel like you passed the torch. That shit.
Oh,
Ah,
absolutely. Something about
best
just beating
games.
beating a game on the hardest difficulty is so rewarding. But that's something I like about
Uh,
games like Elden Ring, where you're always in the hardest difficulty. You really just kind of
it's
you have to make your own difficulty depending on how you choose to level your character and stuff.
Which is funny because I really did start beating my own ass for the first half of the game because I was trying to kind of figure out what kind of weapon I wanted to use, and I hadn't really decided on what I decided now, which is going a magic build because every other Souls-like game other than Bloodborne, I've done some kind of like paladin faith healy guy build with like a big sword or whatever. So it's usually a strength faith build. And the main reason for that is because I let, outside opinions matter. And one of the big stigmas is that, if you use sorcery, you're a giant pansy.
Right.
And you're apparently not playing the game right, which is funny because Elden Ring just came out with the strategy guide, and a lot of like these so-called cheesy tactics are straight up recommended
Yeah.
in the guidebook. Like one of my favorite things is that they straight up recommend you to fucking air quotes cheese them on the horse with the sentinel guy at the very beginning.
Oh yeah,
Like
100%.
they literally recommend you get on your mount and just whack him in, run away, and
Beat
come
them
back
in
and do it
any way
again
that
over and
you
over.
can is the big thing.
Exactly. Fuck that crap. And that's what really kind of sent me off into my sorcery dive. And I never looked back. And maybe
My
it's because
my
in Elden
professional
Ring they have a lot
opinion,
more options.
yeah, absolutely. My professional opinion when it comes to games like that is don't listen to other people. Find your groove. What works for you is going to work for you. If somebody's like, "No, this is poorly optimized," you're like, "But I'm winning." Like, just
Yeah.
do it. Just do it. Like, if you're one of those people who wants to learn min maxing, that's your shtick. You know, like do what you want to do ultimately. But don't feel pressured by other people telling you how to play a game. Like play the game how you want to play it because that's what it's there for. Experiment, find something that works for you. Find something cool, find something neat. Find something that's just so beyond stupid that it works.
What's funny about that is that because of all that, we kind of lose these moments where people will genuinely want to give advice and it be genuinely helpful. Because there was a lot of times because I didn't realize this for a while when I did summons or I would be summoned, the game chat was the thing. So sometimes I would pop in and randomly start talking to the people that got that summoned me,
There's game
and
chat?
a lot of people, yeah,
What?
turns out, yeah, there's a game chat, boy. And some of the people I met were really defensive at first because like there would be certain things I would notice from the get-go, and I'll admit it's my bad for even like speaking out loud with my thoughts because like sometimes you know when you get hit in that game you can see the damage number itself.
Yeah.
So seeing the host get hit and then like 80% of his health go away in like a really end game area, my brain is like, holy, oh my, what's your
What's your
health at?
vitality?
Yeah, exactly. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And a lot of them would turn around and be like, "The fuck you say?" And like it becomes a thing. But a lot of the times you could talk them down and it becomes a conversation of like, "Oh, what are your stats and what's kind of like a good vitality level or whatever." Like I actually had a pretty good time when it comes to the summons because of the team chat or the game chat. Because some people would, oh man, I met this one guy who literally had leveled nothing but faith and wasn't even using a faith weapon. This guy was using let's see, he was up to 60 faith but was still at like 10 or 14 vitality. Like this man had no idea how to put his points and or you know, he didn't know how to play the game. And I couldn't help but to say something, and I don't normally drop weapons because sometimes that is kind of cheating for them because then, you know, you give them something they're not supposed to have, and then the game becomes a little easier. However, in that scenario, like you cannot help but to like, okay, don't change your points. Use this. See if you like it. If not, I'm gonna tell you where to go to get your shit respect and
It's
figure something
dangerous
out.
to go alone. Take this.
But the only rule about that when I drop weapons is that I don't upgrade it because if you do give someone an upgraded weapon, and that has happened, they just go through the game, beat everything, but have no idea how to actually play the game.
Oh yeah,
I've met
100%.
so many people I had to like tell them how their stats even worked because some dude dropped them a max level fucking a Rivers of Blood, and that's all they've been using the entire goddamn game
I refuse
because
to
it
use it
killed
for that
everything in
reason.
one shot.
That's why
Oh
my ass
man.
sticks to the club.
You know what's funny? I totally forgot you did Depraved runs. That's usually
Yeah.
how I start all of my Dark Souls characters is butt ass naked.
I feel like that's the best way to get a feel for a new Souls-like game is to go
Hmm.
completely bare bones and just work your way into a position where okay, I can start a new character now and have an idea of how I actually want to play the game.
The
But
idea when I first started doing it was the min-maxing, unfortunately. I was like, oh wow, I start off evenly on everything, so it's not wasted. But
yeah,
then
I mean
when
that's
like the
another way to do
dialogue
it
comes
too.
on and they talk about or they start mentioning you, they always talk about how like, you know, you're almost like a nobody, sort of. It kind of fits more to that sentiment of, you know, you start off from fucking nothing
Yeah.
and claw your way up, being fucking butt ass
Instead
naked
of
and only
already
starting
being
off with a
like this,
stick.
this. What do you call it in Elden Ring? I forget what you're called. What are you?
Uh,
The
Tarnished.
Tarnished. Yeah, I don't know. My brain kept saying Ashen one. I'm like, that's Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, that's literally where my brain was going to, but
Yeah.
I felt the T.
Yep. Tarnished.
T was in there.
Tarnished. I love that. But yeah, like you're not just already just a tarnished, warrior with all this armor and shit like that and equipment and stuff. You're a man with a pallet for a shield and a wooden club and a loincloth just because the developers don't want you to be naked.
What's funny about that is that the club is unironically fucking amazing.
Oh no, it's
Like
great.
up until I actually settled with
I put
the
wild
magic
strikes on that
stuff.
bitch.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude,
Dude,
that does so
and
much damage.
that got buffed even more.
Oh, wild strikes
So,
got a
dude,
buff.
oh bro, it does so much poise damage. You will fucking stagger a
Stagger.
boss so fast with
Oh
that. It's
man.
fucking dumb.
Oh,
But
I gotta play that game
oh my
again.
goodness.
But yeah,
It's recommend it.
congratulations on
So
Elden Ring winning
absolutely
the Game
deserved.
Awards.
Oh
Very
my
deserved.
god.
Very honored to
And
have
the
been
best
able to
part is
play it.
they mentioned that they're still going to do stuff with it. So we're going to get more stuff down the line other than the free Coliseum stuff, which, I mean, it's awesome that it's free. So I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'm just saying that we're probably going to get something like Dark Souls 3 when it comes to DLCs at some point,
I
or at
can't
least
wait. I
fingers
can't wait.
fucking
I
crossed.
got a better computer now, so I might try to stream Elden Ring again and try to go through
Oh
the whole
my
game.
god.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yes.
But they honestly couldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for Bill Clinton. Let's be real.
Wait, what?
You
Wait a second. How did we
know,
get
the
here?
Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Oh my god, the kid.
The
How
kid.
could I
We
forget?
gotta talk about the
Holy
kid,
cow.
dude.
Oh
How
my
old is he? Like
god.
15?
Dude, I mean, he did look like he was somewhat related to the people who walked. Well, not related, but he had like a black jacket. He looked like he went
He
to go
walked.
up on
If you
stage. Like he
walk
just
with
walked,
purpose, you can get anywhere.
and he even greeted somebody on the stage, like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" Patted him on the back and everything. Like,
Yeah,
"Hey, hey, hey!" Like he knew him or some
yeah.
shit. What the fuck?
They're just looking at him like, this kid on your fucking team, dude? Like, who is. Well, I guess he's with us, whatever.
Oh my god, I think I saw a meme where they were like when someone invades your game awards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they did, like.
An invader has invaded your world.
Dude, somebody jumped on that shit quick and had a Bill Clinton mod
Oh my
ready for Elden
god.
Ring.
So dumb.
It
I think they
was.
have a Kratos one too.
Oh, they
Like
do.
for
They do.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, they do.
The world of mods. Not
The
something I
world
get
is
into
so good.
often, but when I do, it's funny as fuck.
It is. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll do an Elden Ring run with like
Oh, with
everything's modded.
mods.
Everything's modded
Yes.
to not be.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. I might look into that and pull up Nexus and see what they got.
That would be fucking fantastic. Okay, I think it's time though we stepped away from the Game Awards topic a little bit, and let's come back to the physical a little bit.
Physical.
Because, well,
The
I was
physical
doing some
realm
research.
is upon which you wish me to explore.
Mhm.
All right, what do we got
I
going on
found
here?
out that you have, because we're over here in South Carolina.
Yep.
In Colombia, you have a tectonic plate there? I
Yeah.
had no fucking idea that there was one just sitting there because I
Yep.
was looking up new stuff to talk about because I wanted to bring some kind of life into this in terms of just having a conversation. And I saw that, they're like, earthquake in Colombia. And I was like, wait, really? Why didn't I hear anything bigger about it? I feel like I would have
Yeah,
heard it at
we've
work or
gotten a lot
something.
of small earthquakes over the years. You can't really feel them sometimes. Very rarely
But
can you
that's
really feel them.
the category. I think it was like a category 1.3 or some crap. Like it was
Really?
super weak. Like it was
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but like apparently, like the minor earthquakes like that in that area happen quite
They
often.
do.
Like I said, I've never been in an area that
The
actually has.
where our town that we currently live on is on a fault.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're right on a fault. It is supposed to have been this massive earthquake for like 75 years. That's never hit.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah. But the weird
Bruh.
thing is, I told you about the 2014 snowstorm or ice
Nope.
storm? Yeah, so the 2014 ice storm was the biggest ice storm this town has ever seen, and we had power out for like weeks. I would say some people were
Oof.
out for like a month. But the same night that we got power back at my house, a massive earthquake hit. Within this time frame. So the snowstorm lasted 2 weeks, or ice storm lasted like 2 weeks. We don't get snow here in South Carolina. If any of you had no idea about that, we very rarely get snow. It's like once every 7 or 8 years. And so like this put us out of fucking commission for a minute, and like it was all this stuff was happening. There was so much shit going on. No power. People weren't able to drive anywhere to get food. Stores couldn't open. Waffle
I
House
can
wouldn't
only
open.
imagine people freak out over here when it's fucking slippery on the road, let alone
Yeah,
anything else. Like that's
absolutely.
oh my
And then the
God.
fucking earthquake hit the moment everyone got power. My mom made me run down to make sure the train didn't derail, because the trains tend to carry chlorine and other harmful gases that could be harmful if they get exposed. Because if that crashed, we needed to evacuate. But I'm thinking
Yeah,
about it now. I
otherwise
was like, if I would have been close to that, I would have inhaled that and died.
Oh, that's not funny. Why did I
No,
laugh? Oh my God.
it's
That's
because back in
yeah.
2004, I think we had a one of the trains did derail and crash, and chlorine gas spilled all in the Graniteville area, and it caused like massive amounts of death.
Oh my God.
So many, like, because people used to like raise animals and stuff in that area in their backyard, so it was like a whole community of farmers in like the small area where the factories used to be. All those animals died, and like 20 people died. Homes had to be scrubbed. It was a disaster. But yeah, we're on a fault line.
Well, I think that's kind of fascinating. I mean, terrifying, obviously, because then at any moment, okay, well, I guess I have that to worry about. I mean, worry is a strong word. It'll happen at any time,
That's
and
why
there's
we
not
have
really a way
insurance.
you can prepare for that other than insurance. But
Yeah.
when I read that, I was like,
The fuck?
well, I no, I traded out a volcano for a fault line.
Yeah. I
I don't
mean,
know which is worse.
probably more likely to survive a earthquake than
Earthquake, yeah.
which volcano was it? Yellowstone?
Rainier.
Oh, okay. Not the one that would end the
Um,
world, but Yellowstone
no,
would definitely end the world.
but it would still obliterate just about any small little town that was around it. And
Didn't
warning,
you were in the which part of Seattle?
the Lahar Zone.
Yeah, so you were aware that massive wildfire in California was coming through, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
remember you
think I
saying like
was
you could see like
literally
clouds of smoke coming up over the horizon and shit.
I think I can't remember if I was actually leaving to drive to South Carolina when that happened, or that was just one of the summers where it just, yeah, those one of. It's funny how many fires we've had there to where it's like, which hazy summer is
The
it
one
I'm
that
thinking
spread
of?
across the coast from California all the way up to Seattle because of a gender reveal party.
Oh yes, the gender reveal party, that one. Oh God, the pain of that natural
People,
disaster. Oh my God, all because of that.
that
That
kid's life better be fan fucking tastic. That's all I'm saying.
There's no way it is, because now he's gonna get bullied as he grows up.
Weren't your parents
You're
the
the
one that
fuck.
caused the wildfire that destroyed my home?
No, it'd be like you're the gender reveal kid. That's what they say. Oh
You're the
no!
gender reveal boy. Hey,
Congratulations!
hey,
It's a
Jimmy, look.
wildfire.
Hey, Jimmy, look. It's the kid whose parents burned out our home.
Why is this kid Mickey Mouse? This kid is fucking demonic Mickey
I
Mouse,
was
or
doing
I guess
I
just
was
normal
doing
Mickey
Carl
Mouse.
Weezer from Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, oh
Jimmy.
my God, fucking Weezer.
Jimmy. Isn't that kid that caused the wildfire? I haven't heard that voice in so long, so I don't actually know how it goes.
I don't really know either. I can't
It's
really
been so
confirm or
long.
deny if it was spot on. The
Oh
only
man.
voices I have on tap are Kermit the right here and hold on, Squidward. That's all I got. I
I'm
have to laugh
Squidward.
in Squidward to build it
Mr.
up. I can't.
Krabs.
I can't go straight into Squidward. The laugh
Uh,
always has to start off, otherwise it's not. It
oh,
doesn't
hey,
sound right.
SpongeBob.
And that's pretty good. I mean,
Oh,
that's
hey,
pretty good.
Patrick.
What? Okay, it wasn't that I was good or bad. It was the fact that I wasn't prepared for you to go that high in tone.
Oh yeah.
Like you just do not strike me as a person that can go in high pitch. But you constantly surprise me, and so like
Yeah.
you go in tones I never expect you, and it
Oh, dude,
makes me
I
laugh.
have a range. Not a
All
big
the-
range by any means, and not like a spectacular range.
I mean, range is range. I used to be able to
Range
do
is
this
range.
fucking weird cricket noise with my throat. Like I didn't even need like any kind of weird buildup. But my voice has gotten, I don't want to say low because I don't want to sound like a fucking, oh,
Neat.
well, my voice is so deep.
Oh man, my
But
voice is so fucking deep, bro. Oh
but
my
it's gotten to a
god.
point where like you can feel the limit because I can even you can hear something moving around, but I just do not have the depth somewhere anymore to make the wind pass through the way it should to make
Yeah.
that noise. Because as a kid, oh my God, I used to freak people out with that shit
Oh
because I
really?
could do it. Well, the thing is that because I did it with my throat and not with my tongue, I could like quickly chirp it in class. And this was just elementary school, but fucking around with that was the funniest shit ever.
Yeah.
Because some of the or this one teacher, I can't remember her name, but she was straight up so fucking afraid of bugs. I kind of felt
Oh
bad, but at the
no.
same time, it was funny how she would just like stop to look around every so often to see where the fuck is that cricket coming from.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
fantastic. There was no harm. Nobody was hurt, but I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I
remember
missed no talent.
there's a buddy of mine. His name was Matt. He was able to make bird noises with his mouth, and they were very realistic bird noises. So he would just be like, he'd just be doing it at some point, and everybody just kind of stopped from it, look around, and everything. And he did it a few more times, and then somebody like chimed up, he's like, "There's a bird in here." I just remember that memory for some reason. I don't know
You
why.
want some you want some hipster tinfoil hat theory
Yeah.
here for a second? Um, what if that's like a natural adaptability children have to kind of like mimic animals in the wild? You know, if I don't know how long that kind of adaptation would have lasted in us in terms of like generational evolution or whatever, but it makes sense in terms of like if a predator were to like fucking come around or whatnot, and you
Oh,
have the capability to literally mimic an
yeah.
animal.
Mimic like it's young or something like that to where it wouldn't be less
Hmm.
likely to attack you. Yeah, no. So there was a study that on primitive humanoids, because like there are other like humanoid figures aside from us, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Neanderthals and the
Starbuck types.
yeah, yeah. So there was this theory that it's a survivability uh process that you have where if you're around people who have a different accent than you start to mimic it if you're outnumbered by them as a survival tactic. And that's probably due to being a primitive human. When you would come in contact with our humanoids and you were outnumbered by them, you would mimic their speech patterns or their grunt
Oh yeah,
patterns or their yell patterns and everything in order for them to think that you're one of them or be less likely to be, you know, probably
like
consumed by
outcasted.
them, like probably murdered and eaten or something.
Macaques are, or at least like monkeys, like chimps, are actually like us, have like this social dynamic to survival. Like it's not just them, fending for themselves. They have cliques and like social groups and families,
Oh yeah,
and
and social hierarchies as well and everything.
and I believe that that has a lot to do with that because I mean, when we're alone, not only do we just not, I mean, you're less likely to survive. We're just wired to where without it we become more depressed, and
Yep.
it becomes a genuine burden, not just physically now, but now it's like a mental illness almost when you don't have the social ring, even just with the macaques, because like if they're separated long enough from the clique, or if they're like pushed away long enough, they straight up either like start fighting the clique or kill themselves.
Really?
So yeah.
That's
So
wild to
they
me.
no, well, I mean,
I wonder if that does kind
I,
of correlate to human nature as well.
I don't know if that's 100%. I only know that with the McHicks, and those are rare cases too. Like a lot of the times they find other cliques, so it's not like this is a regular thing that they just fucking kamikaze themselves whenever they're rejected by their fellow monkeys.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of animals actually do drive themselves to that point when things end up super dire, whenever they starve or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They give up, and it's so sad.
Ugh.
See a lot of raccoons around here do that shit, and it's fucking like, oh god,
Oh, just give up.
please move out of the way. Like they
Yeah.
just go in the road and they just sit there. And they know, and I'm like, no, I'm not killing you. I'm not doing this. All right, we'll take the tinfoil hippie thoughts off for that, because like I just thought it was funny that that I grew out of having that voice cricket crap Like I know how to physically do it, but I don't have the capability with my throat anymore, which is
Depressing.
so annoying. Not
Yeah.
that I would have any use for it nowadays, but just the thought of losing it is annoying.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It'd be rather
But
irritating.
it does make me wonder how people control their actual tones and whatnot, because you can do voice training and whatnot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, there's this one person I met on Monster Hunter that I think I've told you about this person once, but they sounded like a normal like female, but they were actually a guy. I think they were trans, but they took voice training lessons to actually be able to like fully control the pitch of their voice to where
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can truly manipulate it to be male or female.
Hmm.
And that's fucking astonishing to me that someone can have that much control over their fucking tone. I mean, sure, singers do that all the time and people do in general, but to the degree where you sound like two different fucking people
Oh
is
yeah, no, no,
fucking
no.
insane to me.
People can do that. Like it really just comes with like trying to dedicate yourself to learning how to control your voice. I
I
know
feel
that
so.
there's people who actually do scams and everything by doing that as well.
Oh man.
They will mimic a lot of guys will mimic a female's voice in order to get sympathy and get money from other people, and then
I see.
and then ghost them.
Now with this person that I had met through a Monster Hunter, I mean, I was just random quests I would pop in and out of every so often. I didn't play with them consistently, but they were around enough to where they felt comfortable with like, hey, you want to hear something cool? What? And then they,
Sup,
he
bro?
was, yeah, he was talking to me about how the whole thing works. He went to like to a school for it as well. I was like, wow, that's actually fucking cool. He's like, I honestly thought you were gonna be mad. I'm like, what?
No.
Why? Like I said, I think that takes an immense amount of talent. The fuck?
Yeah,
Like
no,
that's
seriously. If you're
fucking
able to
neat.
mimic voices, like it's really something else. Everybody has their thing. People
You're
say
basically a
I do a
mimicker.
good job at doing certain voices and everything. I'm like, they're not good. They are not what they could be if I tried. If I actually gave it a shot.
Well, I feel like it's less about them being accurate and more like being like they sound good on their own. Like, because you can mimic a voice, but if it doesn't like, if you the sentences you form sound like crap, then nobody cares.
Yeah.
But even if the voice is off, but it sounds like the delivery sounds nice, then most people can overlook
I think a
a
big one that a
few
lot of
different
people do
octaves off.
is like Joe Swanson from Family Guy. Yeah, hey Peter, hey Peter. But
That one's pretty
that's
popular.
pretty much all people can do. They can't really go like, hey Peter, you want to go with me in Cleveland to the Clam?
Hey Peter, can you suck my cock?
Hey Peter, I got a limp dick. You mind if you suck me off?
Oh no, because he's
This is a little...
tragic. Is that lore accurate? I'm sure they've covered that. There's
There
no
was an
way they
episode
haven't.
recently of Lois like teasing Joe in order for him to get an erection so he can have sex with Bonnie.
Bro, what the man, Lois be trifling as fuck, I swear to
Oh
God.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. Trifling asshole.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
Which is crazy.
shit be whack,
I don't
yo.
really want I
Do
don't
we have
really watch
any?
Family Guy, but
We have any more
oh good.
like IRL shit going on lately? What's been some IRL stuff that's been going
Let's
on?
see if I have anything else that I wrote down. I don't think I had too much more. Like I said, I was really interested with the fault line thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that was pretty neat.
I mean, the only thing I have that I was gonna go into like online school, but that might be kind of boring, to be honest.
Potentially. Uh, you know about the Kanye stuff?
No, actually.
We'll go a
You
little
almost sound
bit.
disappointed.
We'll go a little bit into that. It's that shit's a wild ride.
Oh
It's
no.
I mean it's not, to be honest, when I saw it, the only thing I can think of was that's Kanye. I
I
guess
see.
his
So
name's
Rich,
just Ye now, but I'm just calling him Kanye. That Ye shit's stupid as
wait,
fuck.
are you serious? I'm sorry.
He's been going by Ye
His
for a
name.
while, but nobody calls him Ye. It's so stupid. It's
I mean,
so
to be
dumb.
fair, I guess that's what people think when they call me Dino, I suppose.
Maybe, but at least yours is an actual word. His name, he just changed his name to Ye. But anyway, Kanye basically, you know who Alex Jones is, right?
Vaguely.
The water's making the frogs gay guy.
Oh,
That
yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
psychopath. You know that
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That dude's been in some hot water because he's been a fucking idiot and denying the Sandy Hook kids deaths and shit like that,
Oh God.
like a fucking idiot. But then he has Kanye on, and somehow Kanye makes this guy sound reasonable. I don't
Oh.
know. I didn't think that was possible. But Kanye basically, he's talking to him about like, well, it's not like you're this evil Nazi or anything. He's like, well, I don't like using the term evil and Nazis together or something like that. Basically saying that he liked Hitler.
Oh
He's
my
like, I
God.
thought I like Hitler. I think he added a whole lot of value to the world. I'm like, what
No.
the fuck, dude? I'm misquoting this a lot, but I'm like, the whole interview, he's not showing his face. He's wearing this fucking like gimp suit or whatever. He's wearing like this
Sorry,
hoodie. He's
what?
wearing like this
Hold
hoodie that
on,
goes
I'm
all
looking
the
it up
way
right
up.
now.
Yeah, and he's just he pulls out like these. I don't know if he's puppeteering. I don't remember. I didn't watch all the clips. I just was getting a synopsis over it. But I'm like, that's Kanye. That's just Kanye. This dude's Kanye does stuff specifically for political stunts, I'm sure, most of the time. And that's the way it seems.
I feel
But
like a lot of like celebrities in general do kind of have to like make their own splash and drama to fucking resurface their popularity.
this is what
Just
dating a
because.
Kardashian does to you, or marrying a Kardashian does to you.
No. Uh,
They turn you into an anti-Semite to go fucking fight their battles for them.
Jesus Christ,
Uh,
man.
but yeah, he was basically like, I don't know. He was shitting on. I think he was shitting on Jews. I don't remember, but he was doing that, saying that he liked Nazis and he liked Hitler and all this stuff. I think he called himself a Nazi, but I don't really know.
What the
But yeah,
fuck?
that shit, you could tell he's just in the midst of a massive meltdown.
Midlife
The
crisis.
guy's gone crazy. I mean, he lost his wife to Pete. Didn't he lose his wife to Pete Davidson?
Uh,
I don't remember.
couldn't tell you honestly. I
I'm
don't
gonna.
keep up with the celebrities at all.
I'm
Kind of for this reason,
yeah,
because they be doing some fucking mad shit.
dude. Celebrities are absolutely insane. I think a
It
lot
kind
of
of
them
makes
are
you
just
wonder
absolutely
if
crazy.
like the power and money kind of dooms you to do some stupid shit.
Power and
Like if
money are
you're
the
just
people who are like controlling your power and money. You know what I mean? The people who
um
got you to that point.
yeah, because I guess they're already doing it as well, so they're kind of like instigating it. Hey,
There's a lot
hit
of
this line with me, boy.
the behind the scenes to a lot of these people's fame is something we don't get to see a lot. But you hear some people talk about it. I'm not coming to defense of anybody by any means, but you hear a lot of people talk about it. And when you hear a lot of them talk about it, you start looking at them and they start being shown in a darker light and start kind of being pushed to the side whenever they start trying to speak out about stuff. I'd be like, yeah, well, I'm not really a controller. I'm not actually making this much money. I'm just made to seem like I have this money. I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm not saying fame would definitely go to somebody's head 100%. Like that would definitely fuck with somebody. Not being able to go out in public without like wearing a disguise or being
Otherwise, the
recognized.
paparazzi literally swarm you like a fucking piranha to
Yeah,
meat.
imagine living in that. You walking out your house and you have 14 people with cameras trying to like get you to talk or take pictures of you and shit.
God.
Who was it? Who's the guy who played Spider-Man? Tobey Maguire.
Um. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
are
he
we
like
talking? Yeah.
and he fucking punched that guy or whatever.
Oh, yep, that
It
was
was a
definitely him.
paparazzi. Those mother. I'm not even gonna lie. Paparazzi deserve all the forecomings that come to them.
It,
They deserve death, in my
I just
opinion.
don't get. Oh boy. Oh, calm down.
I'm
But
joking,
but
obviously, but
I
they
am gonna.
definitely
I'm
need.
not gonna lie though.
They need to get their
I
ass
don't know
kicked.
what normal human being thinks that having the flash or the shutter go off 60 times in 2 seconds is a fucking good idea for anybody's eyeballs is beyond me. Like what? Like at the very least, you could fucking hey, can I take your picture or just like 1 or 2 clicks? But these men are out here with fucking full auto fucking cameras,
Got their
just
fucking
fucking
Starbucks in hand, have been awake for like
flash
two
banging the
hours
man.
waiting for this motherfucker to come outside so he can take their photo and shit. Like
I'm sure Tommy Maguire wasn't even sure what he fucking swung at when he fucking
I
swung.
gotta keep my job. I gotta get this photo of Toby going to his court hearing.
My man was probably fucking flashbang when he fucking swung that. Oh my god. Like
I
there's
don't know.
no even just like
I'm
the
just
small
saying
bit of drama I had.
if you're a paparazzi who's getting directly. If you're at a celebrity's house trying to get a picture of them early in the morning and you get your shit pushed in, you deserve it.
Yep, you're on the property, boy. What you doing?
Yeah, essentially.
And
Like,
you're in America.
I don't
What are
feel
you
bad for
extra
you.
doing?
I don't feel bad for you. I don't. You
We have
deserve to
a
get beaten
whole
the fuck
rule
up.
about having a weapon. You idiot.
You moron. Get out of my personal space. Like, I get that's legal, but go fuck yourself.
The fact that it kind of like there isn't any type of like protection for them unless they actually cross the line does kind of concern me. But also like that's a slippery slope. Like what would be the rules? Like you can't fucking be like 6 feet within my fucking radius if I'm a celebrity or some shit. Like
Right. Yeah,
it wouldn't be
they
possible.
they don't deserve any protection outside of a normal person by any means. But I just
Yeah.
think common human decency needs to come into play in certain situations.
A man has to constantly have a VPN for life.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, people will find where they live and just.
Ugh. Kobe had the right idea.
Toby, what kind of toilet paper are you using right now to wipe your ass?
Like in his window, like taking a picture of him shitting on the toilet. You're like, Charmin Ultra Soft.
Oh my god. Yeah, fuck being a celebrity.
Yeah, fuck
Wouldn't
that
want
shit.
that.
I would never want that in my life. That'd be horrible.
It's
That,
kind of
that would
why
be an
I've been
actual
hesitant
hell.
to even show too much of my face on YouTube per se, just because I would, God forbid, like it comes back in any way in terms of just like all of a sudden I have fucking people send me mail or knocking on my door
Yeah, dude, I
with
hate.
like
I
just like
don't.
shit in a box or something.
I don't think I would ever want to get over a 10,000 subscribers. I think that is my max.
Yeah.
I think that is the absolute max I would ever want to be at
It
because
does seem
that's
like there's a
enough.
threshold of sanity
Yeah, I
where
think
YouTubers cross.
I think once you hit 100K, you're in a
Oh,
different territory. I think you're going down a path. Like I think it's not gonna happen. I'm just saying that now. But if for whatever reason I do hit 100K someday on this channel, I don't know if I'll do anything anymore after that. Like it's just there's not. I don't want to be any more famous at all. I don't want to be recognized. Like going to conventions and stuff and getting like taking a couple pictures of people. Like yeah, but I don't want to be on like a like a Jacksepticeye or Markiplier level or even like Super Mega and guys like that. Like that's just too much being recognized and having people like do weird shit for you because they think that you're this one like identity, but you're really not. It's just like a for show kind of deal.
they don't know that either. A lot of the times they don't know that, that entertainment persona is for entertainment, man. I'm
Yeah,
just trying to get a fucking jug of ice cream. I'm
it's
not
like
trying to I'm not trying to sign an autograph right now.
I'm just trying to enjoy my Dairy Queen.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god, yeah. People be whack, yo. That should be wild. Oh man,
Ugh. Alrighty, how long have we been at it so far?
about an hour and 20 minutes.
Almost an hour 30. I
Yeah,
think that's pretty good so far.
I think it's pretty good. I think we're not doing too bad. Not doing too bad on time.
Let's see here. What other
What
topics
else you
could
got,
I
cool?
pull up? Let's see. Like I said I still had the school one. I don't think maybe we can go back to video games. No. Let's see. I guess something I could talk about as well as let's see. Hold on. As you can tell, I kind of don't have any more topics prepared for the
You're
most part
good.
because I didn't
You're all
have
good.
I didn't have too many. I started listening to the news with my coworker, but he doesn't have the volume very high, and also the kitchen is loud as hell because I work at I'm a fry cook when I have the chance, and yeah, no, it's loud as hell. I can't listen to anything in that motherfucker. The only thing I hear in there is when people put up UFC fights, and
Oh yeah.
well, I guess that's something. You know what? The fact that that's even a sport to begin with, that we just, hey, you want to beat the shit out of each
I
other?
mean, that's
Leave.
always you got to think
I
throughout human
love,
history. It's always been a sport, you know.
but I love that that's still accepted for the most part.
Yeah.
As annoying as it was to constantly fucking take their orders throughout the fucking last 2 days, man, their excitement and the actual excitement of the matches themselves, fuck, they're
I mean,
Watching the fights are pretty tense,
it's
man.
modern day gladiators. I mean,
Oh
essentially,
man, it's fucking. I
like
mean, they're not always like glamorous to watch though. Like I'm not
no,
gonna
no,
lie.
no. Some guys get fucking destroyed.
There's been at least three fights in my life that I've watched that have physically made me like queasy. Not like I've puked, but enough to be like, oh God,
Oh god.
like yeah,
Yeah. Like, oh,
I
dude, he
didn't
got fucked up.
fucked up. I actually did go into an in-person, not like a actual like official UFC league, but it was like these smaller time like not how do I say like regionally kind of thing. Like they had their light, medium, and heavyweight divisions that they had matches for. They were just random people. They weren't really famous or anything, but
Like
it
an
was at this
amateur league.
country club. Yeah, yeah, amateur league. That's what
Yeah.
I've been trying to say. God damn. But watching those in person was quite the experience, dude. Like it, the TV doesn't do it justice when it comes to like the impact of some of these fucking moves.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the power behind these limbs, man. Especially with like the kickboxers, dude. When they actually get like a good ass kickoff, it almost looks like they're gonna fucking break someone's arm when they fucking get.
Oh yeah,
It
man.
just
The amount of training and dedication that comes to that, and just the love of the sport in general, and I don't.
sometimes it stresses me out because
Yeah.
like the one thing that makes me queasy about it, not even the blood, right? Like I mean, that's kind of a given when you get fucking socked in the mouth, but when someone gets like their fucking shin broken or like their
Oh
wrist or arm, oh
yeah.
my God. Ugh, it's just it's almost too much. It's almost too much. I can't watch it constantly.
Watching limbs
It's
get
not a
broken
sport.
during fights. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I'm glad that he doesn't come around with that fire stick very often. Or I don't know how long usual like seasons or like, I don't know how any of the timing works with those types of sports or whatnot, but I'm glad I don't digest it too much because sometimes it's just a little gratuitous just because some of them are really quick. Like some of the matchups aren't even fucking competitions. And I mean, that's with any sport, right? Like sometimes they're just fucking blowouts. But when
Yeah.
it's another man getting their shit kicked in, it hits different when you watch someone just get fucking mopped. Because they like talk all this shit, they're all boasting and whatnot, they flex up, they usually have like their chance to talk shit. And then like fucking not even a minute in, fucking hitting the mouth out
Get
like a light.
absolutely
Oh my
destroyed.
God.
Yeah,
With
man.
that
That
with that in-person fight, that happened at like at least 30% of the matches where they would just end within the first round within 40 seconds because the matchups were almost just unfucking fair.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I think
man.
the most memorable fight for me was this the biggest example of that too was it was it was a lightweight I think, and it was a female matchup, but you could tell that this one of them was like on the fucking line of being on the next division up, being heavier weight. Like they were both lightweights, but she was just a lot more. The other person was just way more built, and that was just maybe it's because my fucking monkey brain saw women fighting and
Fucking
I
monkey brain.
sympathize or like feel bad about it more. But like watching that other woman get knocked the hell out just hurt my heart to watch. That shit was so quick.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, man. Some of the female fighters are real fucking brutal. Depending, I know. I forget her full name, but Cyborg. She was a massive fighter back then. She just had no mercy against some of these girls that she was fighting. They just these ladies were fucking brutal on each other. I want to say I think one of the best fights I'd ever seen. That was clearly one of the blowout fights. Was Khabib versus Conor McGregor. I don't know how to pronounce
Ooh.
Khabib's last name, but that shit was memorable. Like that's gone down in history. I want to say that I don't think that was Khabib's last fight, but I know he retired after 29 wins.
Oof.
He went 29-0 in his whole career. He retired, I believe, because his father passed away, and this was something that they did together. But after his father's pass, he sought no reason to do anymore. So he ended his career at 29 wins and 0 losses.
Wow. That's so
Um,
depressing.
so But yeah, man, Khabib had Connor talked so much shit to Khabib. Khabib's a Russian, Connor's Irish. But fucking Connor's whole fucking squad was talking shit. But I think Khabib's squad was talking shit too. But Khabib just brought the fucking power, man, and he let Connor have it. They went, I think they went all 5 rounds. I think, or maybe Khabib won knockout in round 4. I don't really remember. Um, but after the fight, the amount of testosterone in the air was insane because they there was this all out brawl because Khabib jumped the fucking octagon fence and tackled fucking McGregor's coach, I believe, and just started kicking the shit out of him too. And then just
Whoa!
everybody started fighting. Yeah, man, it was crazy. It
Holy
was it
fuck!
was one hell of a fucking
How did I
fight,
not hear about this?
dude.
Jesus.
We'll probably watch it later together.
Oh, we
But
have to,
oh yeah,
please.
we'll
God
show it to you.
damn.
But yeah, man, that was probably one of the best fights I'd ever seen.
Oh my God.
There was another one where the guy I was rooting for lost. This has been probably about, how old was I then? This has probably been a decade ago. But there's these two guys fighting, and this dude gets knocked down, and then he swirls around, gets back up, and starts just wailing on the guy who knocked him down. They went to a judge's decision, and he ended up losing. But I was like, "Fuck, man, that was a fucking fight." But yeah, man, Khabib. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Nurmagomedov. Uh, he's a fucking monster, dude. That dude's a fighter. One hell of a
Oh
fucking
yeah, no, I
fighter.
want to I want to watch this fight at some point, man.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of offended that I have never heard of this until now,
Oh yeah.
because there I have had UFC like little bumps every so often, and I'll watch a ton of like match highlights or matches themselves and whatnot.
It used to be something me and my
So
dad
I'm
would watch together, like all the time. He would buy every pay per view, and we would watch it, and then just be our thing to do.
nice,
Yeah, man, I miss that. That's been a long time
boy.
ago.
Let's do it. Let's. I want to see some good fights, especially if they're gonna be like that. The fuck?
Yeah,
How
man.
have I not heard of
You
this?
never know sometimes with them.
No, you're right, because all of them are genuinely interesting to watch, unless and even the blowouts are fucking. They keep you on the edge of your seat for the most part.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you never know when somebody's gonna come back. There was a fight, I think recently, where the guy was just getting the shit kicked out of him, but it only took him landing one blow to the button, and he knocked this motherfucker out. That was it. And he
Oh, was it
won.
like a really heavyweight division?
I don't remember. I think it was a welterweight.
Okay,
Oh man,
because I think I might have seen it the other day.
possibly. Well, you want to wrap up this episode?
Alrighty, I mean, I don't know how we wrap up Clown Town with how spread out we were with these topics, but I hope everyone enjoyed.
I do
We'll try
too.
to keep this on a weekly basis. I think that's the plan,
I think
right?
we can keep it going. Try to see some guests on. If you guys are watching this, and I know you personally, join my Discord and send me a message every so often. If you have some topics that you want to come on talk about, come join up with us. Send me a message. We'll work you into our schedule and see how we can get this show rolling. But if we don't have anything, it'll just be Dino and I. Maybe it'll be just one of us. Who knows? Who knows
And
how it
even
goes?
if, because you said you would post this on YouTube, right?
This is going
At
on my
some point?
channel. Yeah, this is going on
Okay,
my
yeah.
channel. I'll try to
You
keep it
could leave
on a
comments
regular.
too.
Yeah. So just leave some comments. Come hang out with us. We appreciate you guys joining in Clown Town on the Chief and Jehovah Variety channel. Remember, I'm going to be posting episode 0, which was recorded many months ago, for members only. So if you guys feel like supporting the channel, supporting us, hit that members join button. It's 99 cents a month if you don't
Oh,
mind. But if you don't, totally understand. You got plenty of free content coming your way. But we will see you guys hopefully next week on the next episode of the Clowntown podcast. So we'll see you next time, guys. See you later.
take it easy.